So now we're looking at another map. That
Another map.
corresponds
Yep.
off of Nantucket.
Right.
In order to get Ladonia Canyon.
And
in
here
there.
we go, number 5. So I flew into Nantucket
Yep.
with the MU-2
Yep.
aircraft. Number 5, I flew in, landed at the airport, and in the morning it talks about number 5. I'll put 5 here and 5 here. This was an epic trip. And actually, Lidonia, all these canyons, we ran out around these nasty shoals that I discussed. Some of the best striped bass fishermen here, some of the bad rips. There's Great Point. We talk about dense fog and seeing the stars. We ran out 62 degrees here, 67 here. We broke out of the fog in the sunshine. Ugly green water, I talk about pea soup. Then greenish blue.
Yeah.
And then coming into Welkers Canyon, we didn't do shit. So in Welkers, we then trolled all the way down into Lidonia. And it talks about all the things that happened in Lidonia, the life that we hit, the Japanese longliners moving in the Lidonia, the birds, the whales, and this warm core eddy that was moving into where we caught all these fish. And in this particular trip, we caught 17 yellowfin, 13 big-eye tuna, and 1 white marlin. And if you notice here on the way back, I talk about this trip number 5.
Yeah.
But I know what all of this means. So one of the things we have to do is get a copy
Get
or
these in.
another 12300. But what's important is that I can read my own writing.
Yeah.
So this is this big trip that took 3 days.
Yep.
And we talk about the large George's Banks.
Yep.
That's George's Banks, and this area out here was where the perfect storm took place, is way out here. And they were trying to get back to Nantucket and to Maine. That's where that film was shot. So
And how common was it to fish here?
nobody ever went there, ever.
So this was really
It was unheralded.
pioneer.
No man had ever been there before in a sport boat. And I talk about that in my thing. But we saw longliners. Here I talk about when I first got into Welkers, I saw the Japanese fleet on the radar. And we didn't catch shit, but we woke up the next morning in the book and they all left to the east. Japanese steaming east. Longliners moving east. So what did I do? I moved my ass east and ran into them and caught the fish. So that's
But
sharp.
you went to this place for Gilbert Canyon?
Right. This is right. This is Gilbert, but this is Lidonia. We caught the fish right before
But your
Lidonia.
intent was to go all along to
Yeah,
Idonia.
that's what we wanted to do.
Regardless of whatever else, because of that narrow pathway you're talking about.
Well, we came to Lidonia because of this warm core eddy.
Yeah, okay, so the eddy meeting into and then pushing
Yep,
water
yep.
into there, so 208 feet,
Yep.
337
What
feet
happened
deep.
is, if you look, the 100 fathom line is here.
Yeah.
And this warm core eddy, as you see, it swirled.
Yeah.
And where it hit, we caught albacore, we caught 5 big-eye tuna, and we caught a 7 for 7, all right on the edge of this eddy. Just like the classic textbook. Everything that I'd studied my whole life.
And the first vindication that Ladonia Canyon was a special place.
And that warm core eddies worked.
Yeah.
I mean, this, as different from the detective, barber, charterman, blackfin jigger that you were with today of great fame, different than that. The hero that has left me at the dock for, just to vent a little bit.
Don't be bitter.
I don't know. But this is big stuff. This is the first time that I proved that they existed. I went to fish. I went from Shinnecock to here. Well, that's 197 miles to here. And
And this is the water temperature that was in the 70s.
in the 80s, 82,
in the
85.
80s, while just
Yeah.
200 miles away. And this is the
60.
significance of this map for
Yeah.
those helping us with like Nantucket to here may only be 200 miles, but light years essentially away in terms of the climate.
Now, what I've also done
So that's what we're trying to get with this map.
And since I don't know what I do,